Oh, don't do this to me. So here we are again. Learned a few things yesterday, taking this bike on its initial test ride. For one, after it gets warmed up, the final drive, the chain, the oil bath chain, leaks. So I think for the current purposes, I'm gonna drain the oil. This way, at least it shouldn't leak. Second thing, it didn't go into third gear. A few people have suggested things to look at, one of which is, does it even have oil in it? So I'll be checking that. And then I think if I'm gonna keep playing with it and running it around, I should probably do an oil change and flush some of this 20-plus-year-old oil out. So that's what I'm gonna look to accomplish today. So I've never drained or dealt with this enclosed chain drive before. I have to think that maybe all the oil leaked out. There's a possibility, since it was leaking from somewhere right in here, and it left quite a stain on the floor. So I guess we'll go with all the oil leaked out and hope that there's no more. All right, on to the next step. So I want to run this to warm it up a little bit before draining and flushing the oil, and that brought me to a side quest. If I'm going to continue to run this, might as well put an air filter on it. So I have this old air filter sitting around, and the S&S cover. I'll tell you, everything on this bike has an interesting patina. So I may have to move this hose, which is in the way. All right, hose out of the way. See if this cover fits on with this filter. I don't believe it's the right filter, but it's a filter I had lying around. So if it works, even if it's just a temporary thing, it'll be better than not having a filter, right? At least that's my thoughts. Everything seems to line up. Like I said, I think it's better than nothing. So we'll go with that. All right. Probably could have stayed with the original enrichener setup, but I didn't intend to run this air filter, so good enough. All right, fuel. Enrichener's on, ignition. Oh, don't do this to me. It's funny, ran great yesterday. Somebody commented about the 40-year-old ignition system. Well, it appears I've lost spark. So, start to do some checks, try to figure this out. All right, so limited success diagnosing this, just checking connections. So I guess I'll start looking through the Harley service manual, official factory manual. This is what came with the bike. It was in the tour pack along with a lot of other stuff. So keep digging, see if I can't figure this out, then move on to what I originally wanted to do today. It's never easy sometimes, is it? Well, sometimes I guess when you take a few steps forward, you run into a setback. Today I took 2 steps back. Resistance checking everything, and wasn't quite sure on the coil, so I figured it's easy enough to remove, and I have another Harley sitting there. I could swap coils. Well, that didn't fix the problem. I'm starting to think, I'm not sure sensor or module yet, but the coil broke as I went to go put it back on the Fat Boy. So I went from yesterday having 2 running Harleys and today having 0 running Harleys. Like I said, 2 steps back, but I'm gonna keep diagnosing and order some coils. So all of my testing points to a module, but I've not seen this. I'm not super familiar, but look at that. I mean, is that how it's supposed to be? I don't know. I see 1384. I can tell you that the part number for the module that's in this is the original module, 84A part number. 1384, so that was made in 84, it's original to this bike. And the coil, well, it's kind of irrelevant because I ordered a pair of Andrews coils for both bikes, so it's going to get a new coil. But yeah, what do you think of that? I don't know. I don't know if I should just listen to the advice I've already received in the comments to just change all the pieces of it, you know, and not trust this 40-year-old electronics. So let me know. And I think I've had enough for today, enough frustration. Coil packs are ordered. They won't be here till Monday, which is fine because we've got a few days of rain coming. And I'll continue to diagnose, but I'd appreciate any advice or guidance on common issues. I want to put it back together the way it was originally. I'm not really looking to change out the ignition system. I think when it works fine. It's been working great on the Fat Boy. You know, I should have known there was something up with this because when I first got it cranking, it had no spark, and I played around with connections and stuff, and then the spark came back. When I rode it yesterday, and I was winding the RPMs up a little bit, it started to miss a little. So that should have told me something's not quite right. But you know, I guess sometimes you go into denial. But now I have to admit there's something wrong with the ignition system. I've just got to get that sorted out and then move on to the project that I initially started to do today. So anyway, thanks again, and again, any comments or any ideas, much appreciated. Catch you next week.